ton of hidden gems inside of Roblox Bedwars that no one really knows about. So today I'm going to go through 10 of the most underrated kits inside of Roblox Bedwars that you should start using. Also consider subscribing. And for the first kit we're going to be talking about is the Ember kit. And then later in the video I'm going to go through some of the more overpowered underrated kits that you really need to start using. Now, the Ember kit is a really good kit because it's sort of a jack of all trades. You can use it in absolutely any game mode and you'll find a use for it. If you don't know what the Ember kit does, it's similar to the Lumen kit. It replaces the diamond sword with the Ember sword. And once you charge up your ability and do some damage with the Ember sword, you can do this really cool spin dash ability that applies the fire enchant effect to your enemy. Now, what makes the Ember sword so good is it does like a splash damage radius around the sword. So you can hit multiple enemies at the same time, which makes it really good for something like squads or 30v30 because you can hit multiple enemies at the exact same time. You can also use this in solos as an alternative to the diamond sword, and to be honest, it's a lot better than the scythe or the dagger. The one downside that comes to using this kit is you cannot buy an emerald sword, so for late game it isn't too great, but you can apply some really overpowered combos with the forest enchant to make this kit really OP. For the next kit we have the Star Collector Stellar kit. Now this kit is a really old but really useful kit that hasn't really seen too much light recently. Now the Star Collector Stellar kit is honestly pretty similar to the Elder Tree, but what you can do is apply the exact same effect to your teammates to give them extra health as well. You can get critical strike stars and health stars, and you can give them to all of your teammates. So this is a really good team kit, which is why I've put it on this list. Especially for late game and ranked, you can use the Star Collector Stellar to get absolutely overpowered, and it's still a really good option, but not as good as the next option, which is the Lucia kit. Now, honestly, guys, if you haven't been using the Lucia kit lately, what are you guys doing? With the new Season 8 update where they introduced 150 HP, the Lucia kit has also got a bit of a buff because every time you do damage, you get some candy. And since there's more health, you can do more damage, which once makes the Lucia kit super overpowered now. If you guys don't know what the Lucia kit does, basically, whenever you deal damage to your opponents, you get some candy, and then you can put it in this little pinata thing, and you get a crap ton of resources. It is still really overpowered. The Lucia kit is honestly still such an underrated kit. I never see anyone use a Lucia kit, and if you pair this in something like squads or 30v30, it's gonna be absolutely insane, since there are so many people and matches tend to go for a lot longer. And for the next kit, we've got another battle pass kit on this list, which is the Nyx kit. Now recently this kit has been absolutely insane with the new Season 8 update introducing forging. The Nyx kit and the scythe go hand in hand to create the absolute most insane combo in Roblox Bedwars. If you haven't been keeping up to date with ranked, there was a little bit of a strategy a couple months ago where people were using the Nyx kit and the scythe to get an absolutely insane damage buff over their opponents. Since if you guys don't know what the Nyx kit does, once you do some damage, you can charge up your little ability, and then every time you get a hit, you get like a little combo effect, and it does even more damage. Which is why when the Nyx kit was paired with something like a scythe or the dagger, it became a really overpowered. And if you guys see a kit that you really like on this list, let me tell you a little secret, guys, because I'm giving my subscribers who are early to my videos a free kit. So if you want the chance to get a free kit that you see on this list, or a free kit that you just want in general, make sure to like and subscribe and comment your username down below with what kit you want. And if you're early to this video and my next video, I might slide you guys a kit. So if you want to get a free kit, don't miss out. Subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you don't miss out on getting a free kit. Anyways, for the next most underrated kit on this list, we have the Whim kit. Now this kit is a pretty old kit and it is very much hated in the Roblox Bedwars community. This kit is still really overpowered and widely hated across the Roblox Bedwars community because of how annoying it is. If you don't know what this little wizard kit does, basically you start off the game with spawning in with a spell book, and it's basically like a much better bow. It has somewhat of a slower projectile, but a consistent one and an unlimited one. And you can upgrade your spells by just wandering around the map and claiming books, and you get even more overpowered spells. It's really good for early and late game because you can just constantly deal passive damage to your opponents, and really annoy the heck out of them. This kit is really good if you just want to do a little bit of trolling and messing around, and it's also a pretty good sweat kit as well, just because of how overpowered it can be sometimes. And now, out of every single kit on this list, this is probably the third best kit that I'm going to be talking about for solo. And later in the video, I'm going to be going over those kits, and you guys be absolutely mind-blown of how overpowered some of these kits are. Now, if you guys don't know what the cobalt kit does, it's a pretty old kit. Not a lot of people have this kit, but if you do manage to pick up this kit, basically what it does is whilst you do damage to people, you get these little batteries that give you extra shield. And once you get 3 little batteries, you get a speed buff, and it's pretty good. You can use the speed buff to run away or rush opponents, and it's pretty useful in solos. This kit is seriously underrated because of how good it is early game. Like, imagine your opponents are dealing damage to you, and you're just able to heal up basically to where you were before and get a speed buff. That is absolutely overpowered. And for the next kit, we have the Warden kit. Now, honestly, guys, I actually didn't know about this kit until someone suggested it in my Discord server of how underrated this kit was. Now, to be honest, guys, I didn't actually know what this kit does, but when I tried it out, I was amazed of how overpowered this kit is in solos. Now, in case you are wondering, guys, this is the second most underrated solos kit on this list. If you guys didn't already know, basically no one uses the Warden kit, and it is such a good kit. When you kill a player, you can imprison their souls and extend their resource and extend their respawn time by half a second, and you gain 2 shield per second as well, and it maxes out to 8. You also get an extra break speed buff, which is absolutely overpowered for breaking bed. This kit is really underrated because not only is it good for early game, it's also really good for late game, and it's best for every single game mode. Now, for the next most underrated kit, I'm going to be talking about the Enzo Wizard kit. Now, basically, no one uses this kit anymore. After the Enzo Wizard got changed, it was maybe super hyped up for around a week, and then it got nerfed and no one really used it. But yet again, this kit is still really good for late game and for early game as well. This kit is a really good PvP kit, and the one weakness that it has, which is the stick, can be easily gotten rid of if you just forge any weapon. If you don't know what the Enzo Wizard kit does, you get a little staff, and you can just hit people from across the map without any worries in the world, and it does some extra damage as well. You can hit people from super far up or right next to you to get a really nice PvP advantage on your opponent. Honestly, I have no idea why I haven't seen people use this kit in solos, because this is honestly a really overpowered kit. And for the next most underrated kit in Roblox Bedwars, this is probably the best underrated kit for solos, and that's the Kalia kit. If you don't know what this kit does, basically whenever you deal damage to your opponents, you get a fiery punch that you can use to deal some extra damage. This kit is not only the best PvP kit for solos right now, but it's also a really underrated kit as well. I don't see that many people using this kit despite it being the best solo kit right now. And the best thing about this kit right now is once you forge up your upgrades and stuff, your punch actually does extra damage. So if you keep forging up your weapons and get that damage bonus, it also applies to your punch as well, making it a really good solos kit, a really overpowered kit to use while PvPing your opponents.